Alrighty. It's a pretty legit stream setup you got here.
I feel so sluggish.
So one thing I just want to say here,
It's probably a lot
Zarya on this map, not the best. It's very similar to Numbani. When you were, I know your last video you sent me, you were on Numbani, which is another map that Zarya is not that great on. And the reason why, once again, is the ridiculous amount of high ground that there's available on this map. It makes it very difficult to play Zarya effectively because she doesn't have good access to that high ground. So she can basically, all she can do is really spam right clicks at people who are on the high ground unless she pushes it herself, in which case she's not on the cart. So she doesn't have the freedom to go between the cart and the high ground like she wants to. So here you more or less have to push high ground and you have to be bubbling people who are getting aggressive. So your comp here, you have, a Lucio, which is good. You have Moira, which is really not that good for this map. Once again, Moira can't get on the high ground just like Zarya, and she can't heal people who are on the high ground like, an Ana or a Mercy or a Zen. So she has to get up on high ground herself to heal people. So she's just not as versatile on this map. I mean, she's fine. You can make her work. It's just that she's not as versatile just like Zarya. So you have Reaper and Hog and Ashe. So usually here, what you're going to be doing is bubbling mostly your Roadhog and your Reaper. Depends on how the fight goes. So you're going to be, if you're getting really aggressive, you want to bubble your Reaper probably. Like if he's getting all up in the tank's face, you want to bubble him so it makes it so they can't CC him and stop him from, deleting everyone. And your Roadhog, maybe you want to bubble him when he's going for hooks because he's pretty vulnerable when he's going for a hook. Like he can't heal himself and he's kind of standing sort of stationary. Other than that, you want to bubble squishies who are getting, CC'd or whatever.
He's trying it lower now.
But you want to be trying to get on the high ground yourself here because it's really hard to build charge as Zarya on this map unless you're on the high ground most of the time. So they have a Zenyatta, they have a Reinhardt, they have... Okay, that was a strange bubble. So I think... Yeah, you were trying to bubble this McCree over here and your Moira strafed in front. That happens. But I don't know about that bubble, to be honest, just because, it's good to build some spam, but, this McCree, he's literally, he's behind this little, whatever the hell, wall here, right? He's not going to be taking much spam. If you're going to be bubbling for charge, which is totally fine at this point in the game, you want to be bubbling people who are either standing in a choke or they're already taking damage or something. You don't want to just be bubbling people who are, in cover, just for the sake of bubbling them. You want to wait for them to be CC'd or, standing out in the open, actually. And if you are going to bubble somebody, who's not in danger at all, oftentimes the tank is the best option because they're the biggest and they'll take the most damage. Okay, so they have a Hammond here. So what I would have done is after I see the Hammond, I'm going to wait for him to slam in, and right before he slams, you're going to bubble whoever the hell he's slamming on and stop them from being knocked up into the air. And the reason why you do that is because if you bubble them after he knocks them into the air, is he'll just stop shooting at them and you'll get no charge. And also, it stops them from being knocked into the air to begin with, where they can be targeted by enemy DPS. So usually you'll get more charge this way because Hammond can't stop the pile drive damage from going through. However, he can stop shooting his left click because it's, an overtime. It's not bursty. So you want to just block the CC and the damage from that, and you'll probably get about 20 charge. But instead, you didn't have bubble there, so nothing to be done. You're still at 0 charge here, which is rough. That was a nice hook by your Hog there. Alright, so here with the Sombra there, I don't really like how you just held left click the entire time. So Sombra is, she has her translocator there, obviously. So you as Zarya, you're not going to kill her with your 0 charge, tickling her to death, I know that, you know that, she knows that. You're not going to do that much damage. It's hard to track her. She's small. So what you want to do is you want to be using your burst damage abilities. I don't care what hero you are. You want to be using the burstiest shit that you have when you see her. Because if all of your entire team turns to her and hits her with a burst damage, she's literally just dead. So you want to be using your right click against the Sombra who is translocating or hasn't translocated yet. Because if by some miracle your Ashe 180s and just dinks her, hits her with a headshot, and you right click her at the same time, she just explodes and she's dead. Whereas if you're holding left click that whole time, your Ashe turns and headshots her. She's like, oh, I'm weak, and she translocates out. So you'll either get her really, really, really weak and scare the shit out of her, and she might have to play safer from then on, or you're going to get a free kill. So usually right click against people who are not going to be there for very long, like tracers, like Sombras, right there. Yeah, I know you're low charge, but that's just a small thing. So, okay, so right here, I see this Ryan is dropped, right? So he's got two teammates here. The ham is coming up around the back. You've got, you and two or three other teammates on the cart. So you need to be on this Ryan's ass. You need to be telling him, your whole teammate, like, hey, see, this guy's got the cracked shield. It's like it's broken. He's an idiot. Why did he even drop? Literally, he's feeding. So what happens here is your entire team jumps on him, and he either dies or his entire team drops down with him, and then you guys have forced them to give up the high ground and take the fight on the cart, where you now have the high ground because this is a slope. So, and they have no shield health. So this would be a very advantageous fight for you guys. So basically, you just want to kill the Reinhardt here, and you want to tell your whole team, hey, Ryan's feeding, kill his ass. And if they stop and drop down with him, you can just back out with both your bubbles that you have. So you just be saying, get aggressive on the Ryan here, because a lot of the time, people won't help him. He'll just die and he'll feed, and then it's free kill. So that bubble there wasn't the best. So I know we talked about on Numbani, when you're bubbling in front of a Reinhardt, you want to wait for him to swing at you before you bubble, or some kind of, you want to have a reason. Like, I know that he wasn't swinging because he was weak, but the bubble there seemed like you were trying to get the Reinhardt to swing at you. So I probably would have waited on the bubble just a little bit, but it's fine. Not a huge deal there. That bubble on your teammate that was getting aggressive was good. I liked that.
And I put down on point.
Killing me out of there is good.
Nice.
So here you just lost two. They lost two. Probably just push cart here. See if you can't kill people to the best of your ability. That you're still pretty low charge though. Like, I think you really need something to synergize with you, or something to, you need to be bubbling your Reaper a little bit more, or telling people to get aggressive, because like there's not a lot of good opportunities for you to get your bubbles off here. So like the only opportunities that you have is when the Hammond comes in and dives people, because you're not running a dive comp, so you can't bubble people that are diving and getting aggressive very often. So you need to be bubbling people that are getting dove instead. So you need to be either doing that, or if there's not a lot of good opportunities for that, you need to be saying, okay, Reaper or Hog or whoever, like somebody who is getting aggressive, you say, hey, I've got a bubble for you. Do something stupid, basically. Like, not stupid, but you know what I mean. Like, get aggressive, do something that you wouldn't usually do, and I will bubble you out. And tell your teammates, like, communicate that. Like, you're not really talking and communicating your bubbles. So they'll be like, hey, I've got a bubble for you. Let's do this. Okay, so that bubble there, what you just did there was the same thing that I was talking about before with Hammond when he slams on you, or when he slams on anyone. You want to bubble as he's slamming, not after you're already in the air, especially because you're a tank. You're not going to die when you're in the air. So like, say they had a Widowmaker here, or like some other hit scan DPS with bursty shit, or over here or whatever. Okay, maybe then I'd bubble myself after I got knocked into the air. But as a tank, when they've just got a freaking Lucio here and the Hammond, like, you're not going to be taking that much damage, and you've got a healer right behind you. I probably would have saved the bubble, because you're not, like, right now, what you need is charge. You're at 0 charge. So what you need right now is you need charge. So I would have waited on that bubble. I probably wouldn't have used it at all, because right now you got 2 seconds left. So unless I can get it off right before he slams on me, I wouldn't have done it at all. Because you want to be blocking the slam, stopping yourself from being knocked up to begin with, and getting the charge off of the slam, not the left click. Yeah, so it was still on cooldown there, so I would have waited. Right there, your Roadhog hooked to McCree. There's nobody else back here, so I don't like that bubble. You want to be bubbling people who are getting aggressive and telling them to get aggressive, not just bubbling people who are, totally safe in the back line here. So now that Ryan charged in, that's a big feed. So right here, if I had still had my bubble, I would have been like, all right, Reaper, get all up in that Ryan's face, kill him for free, I'll bubble you. So I'd be like, Reaper, get aggressive, 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 I'll bubble you. Like, tell him, let him know. Yeah, you see, like, this Ryan, he just took 2 shots from the Reaper here. He is now quite weak. So if you had the bubble there for your Reaper to continue getting aggressive past the shield, he easily could have killed the Rhine there. Okay, so now they're starting to use ultimates. Here I probably would have backed up. I wouldn't have pushed up onto the Sombra. I would have backed up just a little bit as they were coming in to push the ultimates, and then tried to use my bubble to get myself out. Maybe the Hammond ultimate's blocking you off. I can't really see, but I would have tried to get through because you can usually right click and bubble your way through a Hammond ultimate as Zarya. So I would have probably tried to back out here because if you're pushing up here and that Hammond ultimate is behind you, you're now cut off from your team, and I guarantee you're gonna die in the next 10 seconds. So, you know, it's not always like this could be fine for all I know, but like you're probably cut off, and your teammates definitely backed up, so you're probably alone. You're probably gonna die. Okay, that sleep is tragic. No way you could have really done anything there. Your Moira also ulted, which cleared a lot of the Hammond mines, I think, and that probably would have saved you as well. So if you'd backed up, that would have been the play there. At least you got turned into a bubble blower. That's unfortunate.
Regroup, guys. Regroup. Wait for me.
So you've had pretty low charge basically this entire time. So you want to be pushing high ground a little bit more, or telling people to create, you know, opportunities for you to be aggressive. I like the right click there on the Sombra.
Soak some damage for me, Hot.
Nice. I like the communication there. Probably would have bubbled a tiny bit earlier, but that's fine. That bubble was, I think you mistimed it there. Like you want to bubble now. Oh, no, he threw it to the side. He missed the strike. Okay. See how it is. Okay, so now what you got to be thinking here, see this Ryan's getting real aggressive. You know for a fact this guy's got Shatter. It's been 2 minutes. People's ultimates are coming offline, right? People have ults. They're about to use them. So what this Ryan wants to do here is he wants to shatter your whole team. Because you guys don't have a shield. You don't have a Reinhardt. You don't have a Winston. The only thing that you have on your team that can block the shatter is Zarya. So you need to be saving your self shield because not you can block it with your team shield as well, but obviously it's easier to block it with your own shield because you can't control your teammate's positioning. You control your own. So you can stand right in front of him, hold the bubble, and then literally sit there with your finger on left shift. When you hear the ultimate call out, you block it. So you want to be looking to block the shatter with your bubble here. So I want to see you saving the self shield because they're about to be starting using some ults here. Probably Earth Shatter is one of them. Okay, well, or EMP, that works too. So EMP is a thing. Obviously you can't use your bubble when you're EMP'd, but you guys just lost your hog. I'd probably be backing up here and trying to do as much damage as I can as I do back up, but you want to be thinking here that the rest of your team is still alive. The only person that died there was your hog. So you still got to be thinking about the shatter, like they're still getting aggressive. So you want to be saving the bubble here. So I wouldn't have used that bubble. You were full HP. You got your healers on you. Your bit spawn. Your team's already dying. But I can understand, you know, you wanted to get the charge, and you probably weren't thinking about the shatter. Okay, but you lost a couple more teammates. You threw out Bob. They're probably backing out here, to be honest. Like they got the kills. They made you guys use ultimates. I would be leaving if I were them.
Huge Bob.
Or shattering. That
Huge Bob.
works too.
Let's push on that, guys.
But that shatter didn't really matter because that was a throw. But like in general, you want to be thinking about it and you know, saving your bubble for it because you're the only counterplay to shatter right now. So you're 90 on Grav now. You see this McCree here and this Ana up on the cart. So you just killed 2? No, they killed 2 that are coming off spawn. Then they killed your Reaper. You killed the Rhine. Okay, so what I would do here is I would try to build my Grav on a right click here, and then I would instantly grab this Ana if I can. Because the only way that you win this push is if you kill this Ana right now. So right here, she's pocketing the McCree. You know, I would definitely kill the Ana if at all possible. I would have grabbed this wall right here, probably the instant it came off cooldown, probably, and tried to snag her. That's what I would have tried to do. If not, if you didn't think you could pull that off, that's fine. I'd back up and then just try and get it. I'd probably go high ground and then grab from above where it's easier to get a grab because they don't have a diva. You got to be thinking counterplay to your grab right now is diva, which does not exist on their team. Sombra could hack you, maybe. That would be a problem. But other than that, they don't have that much other than their Rhine shield. So literally, there's nothing to stop you from landing the grav. There's just things to stop you from following up on the grav. So if they had a diva, maybe you might not want to go high ground because there's so much more travel time for your ultimate to be getting to their team, more time for her to eat it. But since they don't have anything to stop you, I would just go on high ground and shoot the grav down from above them. And I'd be like, okay, team, like, are you ready? Like, I'm gonna grab them, like, and then we just speed on them or something. So
Man heals.
yeah.
Oh shit, I'm hacked, I'm
Escape
hacked
by
on
a
point. I'm
widow?
hacked on
Do they
point.
have a widow? What the hell hit you?
Massive.
Might have just been a McCree headshot. Oh, that's a nice kill.
I know on top left. Sorry, top
Okay,
right.
I like the call on the Ana there. That was not a great bubble that you did on yourself. But the Ana being over there is really important. I'm glad you noticed it. So you should definitely be telling your teammates to kill this Ana. So now that, you know, the fight's starting again, you killed the McCree, your teammates are coming back, this fight is now winnable. So literally, you kill this Ana who for some reason decided it would be a good idea to be cut off from the rest of her team in server room. Literally, you just should run into the server room and kill the shit out of her. If you're having trouble, literally just solo grab her. Because this Ana dies, you instantly win the fight. That's your
On
win
top left.
condition.
Sorry, top right.
So right here, when you start going back to cart, you know, that's okay. I think I probably would have thrown my bubble on my hog and then left and killed the Ana, to be honest. Okay, now she's nanoing the Rhine, which is questionable because like the only thing in hammer swing range is 2 tanks. So like, and he doesn't have shatter because he used it last fight. So the only thing this ultimate accomplishes is he's going to build a little bit of shatter off of it, but he's not going to kill anyone, probably, because you've got 2 healers behind you, I think, and it's just 2 tanks. Like that's a stupid ultimate, because like back when, you know, nano boost had a speed boost applied to it as well, you know, he was terrifying. He was like a giant Genji, like an old giant ulting Genji back when that was a thing, but you know that's not a thing anymore. So ulting, you see a lot of nano boosted Ryans in lower elo. You see him in higher elo occasionally, but like a lot of the time he's not that good of a pick for a nano boost target, especially when the enemy team has a Lucio like you do, because you can literally just speed away from him and you're just faster than him. He's a freaking melee hero. He can't catch you. So that's not a very good one. But I see what you're thinking there with the solo grabbing the nano target. That's often a good idea, but I don't think it would have been in this instance. Like here, I think it would have been better to just solo grab the Ana. Oh, your Lucio died. That's tragic. But yeah, I probably would have killed the Ana if at all possible. And then this Rhine, he's not going to kill anyone here. Like he's not going to kill a hog that still has a self heal and a Zarya that still has bubbles with an ultimate.
Oh, man.
So that fight's lost.
Ah!
Yeah, you want to try not
Oh,
to
he
panic
heals, he
bubble
heals.
people on your way out, but it's fine. Alright, this is probably 1, maybe 2 fights here left. They probably have EMP. Your Lucio needed to be saved right there. I don't know if you saw. So right here, your Lucio, you see this crazy motherfucker just coming in over here, this guy? He's in the middle of their entire team. They want to kill his face off. I think the McCree just tried to flash him, so that would have been a really good time for you to use this guy right here, that little team shield on the Lucio there. You might not have seen him, but that would have been a good time. Yeah, because you heard him say, "Whoa!" That means he got stunned. So he got stunned by the McCree there. He would have blocked it with the self shield or the team shield. Okay, that was a nice bubble on him. I mean, you noticed him there. That's good that the team was collapsing on him. You bubbled him. So right here, they're really overextended, right? So the enemy team is all up on the left. Like you got literally 3 people. They got both tanks and the brig over here. Like they're totally split. So what you need to do right now as your team is you need to say, okay, you know, collapse on one of the sides of them. So you need to be either killing all the people on the left here or killing people on the right that are split from them. So you seem to go to the right here with the Ana. The Ana just got armor packed. So I'd probably start this off with a right click, not a left click. I know you're 100 charge, but beam damage obviously does less to armor. I mean, it does a little more than it used to, but it still does less to armor. And Zarya got a nerf against armor as well. So usually you want to start off with bursty damage against armor, because armor, it used to be either 5 damage or 3 damage, depending. Sorry, not. It was it either took off 5 damage or half of the damage, depending which one was less. Now it's 3 or half, whichever's less. But still, and then they changed Zarya's beam damage against armor last patch, I think. So I don't even remember how exactly it works anymore. But the point is, your beam does less damage to armor. So she's a little overhealed right now. So you want to start off with a right click to chunk away that armor real fast, because it doesn't affect burst damage as much as it does slower damage, like your left click. So you want to start off with a right click here, and then try and surprise the Ana, get her as low as possible before she even realizes that I don't know why the hell she's facing the wrong direction, in front of your spawn, but she's doing it. So, you want to take advantage of it. So yeah, that, and she's hard to hit. She's squishy and stuff. So I'd probably be trying to right click a little bit more, especially if she's jumping like that. So she's jumping, jumping, jumping. So each time that she's in the air here, when she's at the peak of her jump and she's starting to come down, you want to just see where she's going to land, and you want to meet her with a right click right there, right as she's landing, and try and direct impact her with a right click. Because there's 100 charge. If you hit her with 100 charge right click melee, that's literally like over half of her HP. So that's, and also, she's hard to hit. She's skinny. She's Ana. So it's easier to chunk away all that damage with the right click than it is trying to track with the left click. So I want to see a lot more right clicks with you. Another thing is, so say she's got her health bar here, right? Say that's her health bar. And you're holding left click, left click, left click, and like that's how fast she dies, right? And then she's dead. So your right click is bursty. Like, I know your left click is technically more DPS over like sustained amounts of time, but you can change your time to kill by using your right click appropriately. So like if you start with the left click and then right here, bang, right click, and then she's dead. Like literally, so you're just left click, and then boom, she's just instantly dead. With the right click, you can make your time to kill faster. So I don't know if that makes sense how I'm explaining that, but anyways, I want to see more right clicks on that Ana, or just in general, like when you're up close.
Nice, nice. Go point,
Healing
go
down,
point.
healing down.
More right clicks on squishies, especially.
Huge. Alright, let's go point. Watch that Sombra.
Okay, good. That's a good thing you're saying going point here, but I think what I would say is, so you just got a couple kills. They had a couple people that should be coming back soonish. So what I would be doing is I would be pushing up here to this corner, right here, and you got both your bubbles in a second. I would be having you and one other teammate push up to this corner here, and trying to hold them at the door, and stopping them from touching the card at all. And you're 100 charge, you're fucking terrifying. You're 100 charge Zarya. So like at the worst, what happens here is they push in, you do a shit ton of damage to them because you're 100 charge Zarya, and you back out as you use your bubbles. So I think that's what I probably would have done, and then you would have left someone else on the cart. But right in the cart here is not bad. I just probably would have tried to stop him from getting here, because you've got a fuck ton of people on cart right now. So that McCree, he would have been a free kill if you were up there.
Nice.
But you got it. It's fine. But okay, so you just killed the Hammond. You have a Lucio. That McCree is still up here, somewhere. So what I would be saying here is that, you guys have a main advantage right now, and they've got the bad spawn. So what you want to be doing is you want to have your Lucio speed into them and kill the shit out of everybody you can before they can regroup. And get really aggressive here.
So if you can focus at Ana, guys.
Okay, so now that's the McCree's dead too, so you're 4v6 right now. So if you guys just get really, really aggressive on them and like, force them to, either back up or die or use ultimates, that's a win for you guys. Okay, they're getting a little aggressive and your team is not getting aggressive, which is strange. That was a decent bubble. I don't know why the Ryan jumped. It's very weird. Because like he said hammer down and then it hit. It was like really delayed, so he must have jumped. Which is really weird.
This is Scantrax, how you doing?
Yeah, he literally jumped. That's adorable.
You should be in this game, mate. We need you.
Just like in training.
Alright, well you guys should be regrouping here. They used some ultimates. That's good for you guys. They used EMP, they used Shatter, and they used Brig ultimate. So that's pretty good for you guys.
Give me your best shot.
So that bubble there, not crazy about it. So the reason why, it's kind of like with Hammond, when I was talking about you want to bubble before he lands, and the reason why is because he can stop shooting, because he's a hit scan that does like little tickle damage per bullet, right? So he can just stop shooting at any moment, and you get what, like fucking 2 charge here. it's the same thing with Sombra. It's the same thing with Tracer. They don't do that much damage per bullet, and they can stop shooting, giving you almost no charge for your bubbles. So the only time that you want to bubble against a person like that is when either you are really, really weak, or when it's not you that they're shooting at. Like if they're shooting at, you know, a McCree or one of your healers, then that's fine. But usually you want to, for yourself, if you're like bubbling for charge, like it looked like you were doing there, you want to do it against burst damage, not against tickle damage like that. So I would have waited for a flame strike or, you know, a Zen to shoot at me or something. Sombra, you're not going to get almost any ult charge, or not ult charge, any charge from her.
Wait, break,
That's a
break,
big
break, break,
feed
break,
from the
break,
break.
break.
Good call on the break.
Nice.
I don't know what she's doing. That was a questionable sound barrier. So there, let me see. Okay, so you bubbled your Lucio, who's under the McCree, right as he high nooned. So if you'd saved that bubble for your Roadhog right here, you could have saved him, but I mean, hey, it's fine. I think that might have been too close for you to realistically have known that. Was a good bubble on the Lucio. I probably would be clearing some of the mines with a right click maybe, but okay, now that Ryan's feeding, I'd actually kill him. Yeah, you almost missed that. That was a good kill on the Ana though. It's a bold solo grab, but it was good. So like now this Ryan up here is half HP, he has no Ana. I'd be pushing him and I'd be killing him because his shield is cracked. He's got like no shield. So literally you guys push on this Ryan and you literally just take the point for free.
Push cut.
So yeah, I don't agree with the push cart thing there. I'd say, you know, Ryan's down, leave one person on the cart, and then I'd push up and kill the tanks because they have no heals. Because like these guys are literally, they have no healers, they're just feeding. Like look at this Ryan just standing in front of you for some reason with no shield and no heals.
Break.
So against Brig, especially when you're really close like this, I want to see a little bit more right clicks on the edge of her shield to get more damage around her onto her shield. Instead of just left clicking her shield, you want to right click around her shield. So, okay, there's a McCree over here. Okay, so you got the McCree coming this way. Your Moira here is coming this way. I'm not very good at math, but these lines, you know, they're going to meet. McCree is scary. He's got a flashbang, you know. So your main healer is approaching a hero with a flashbang. So right here, I would definitely be bubbling my Moira, and you know, because she's about to get flashed probably. So I would bubble her to block the flashbang probably, because she might die. But you know, hey, maybe she's a god. She'll fade and block it. Okay, well the McCree died, so that's good. But she did get flashbang, so it would have been good if you had blocked. That was a decent bubble on your Junkrat there. I probably would have done it a little bit different timing there, so I could like right at the peak of the Hammond's jump. So I think you did it a little early or late. So right here, that's when I would do it. So he's starting the animation to come down. I would bubble him right here to block him from being knocked up into the air. Instead, you did it like right as he was landing. I don't even know, but it was a decent bubble. But usually you want to block the ground pound damage, as I was talking about earlier. Not a bad bubble. Help him get out there. It's good.
Massive Sombra's down up top. Keep pushing.
Okay, I don't like that bubble on Bob. So the reason why here, so for Bob, the main counterplay against Bob is either kill him, which is a thing. Like you got snipers, you can just headshot him to death. It's pretty easy. Or alternatively, it's boops, displacement, stuns, stuff like that. So the enemy team, they have, what do they have? They have a Hammond. They could boop him, I guess, but that's not that scary. And it's pretty hard to boop him with that. So the main thing that I'm thinking about is they have an Ana, right? Their Ana has Sleep Dart. That's one of the best counters to Bob in the game, Sleep Dart, because it lasts almost the entire duration that he is out there. So what you want to be doing here with this bubble is you want to be blocking the Sleep Dart, because bubbling him on his way in is not really that helpful because he's got 1,000 HP. What's this extra 200 HP going to do for 2 seconds while he's coming in? It's not going to help. So what you want to do is you want to wait for the Ana's Sleep Dart. That's inevitably going to be coming unless it's already on cooldown, which I don't think it is because she should be coming off spawn. and you want to be looking at him, holding your finger over E, wait, and then the instant you hear the sleep dart, you bubble him. Or maybe just right when he hits the wall. Because, like, Anas are going to wait until he stops moving, and then they're going to sleep dart him, right? So, right here, as he hits the wall, then I would bubble him, and then I would block the sleep dart with it. Because he's probably going to get slept now that you wasted the bubble, and there's nothing to stop him from being slept. And then it's just going to be a wasted ultimate. Okay, yeah, there it is. So, probably would have saved the bubble for the sleep dart there. But I mean, hey, it's not the end of the world. That was a nice bubble. I like that. So what I was talking about before, where he's at clear and he's coming down, you got 4 teammates in a pile here. How I was talking about where you want to block the ground pound damage, you did that here. But I think you hit the tank on accident. But hey, that's the right idea. You want to like stop them from. Yeah. So you see, you bubbled this dude here, and then these 3 got knocked up in the air. So that's good. That's the right idea. You want to be bubbling people so they're not getting knocked up. But usually you want to bubble a squishy, somebody who's, in danger of dying before they touch the ground again. But that's good. That's the right idea. You got a good charge out of that. That's good. That's a step in the right direction.
Oh, huge!
And he's just going to waste ult too. What a
Zen,
feeder.
Zen. Nice.
They're a bunch of feeders, dude. What are they doing?
Nice. Ana on the right, Ana on the right.
That's a good call there on the end on the right. You saw the shot trail here. That's a good bubble to block the sleep dart. Okay, so when you're this close to her, and you're going to be meleeing anyways, you should, right here, you should be right-clicking. Right-click melee, because it's literally free damage. Like, literally free.
Ana behind.
You'll be right-clicking a lot more against the Ana
Oh,
there.
huge.
Nice.
Okay, okay, so I'll show you, Is this showing it correctly? I don't think it is. Hold up. Overwatch. There we go. Okay. What am I doing there? Yeah, let's just do that. That's easy enough. Okay, so. Alright, that's Zarya here.
Together we are strong.
What you want to be doing is. I'll actually show you a couple things, I guess, because. One of the things I was talking about was
Bring it. Let's see go.
damn, it's gonna be a slow build and charge here, huh? But anyways, I was talking about how you want to finish people quicker with your
Ready for battle.
bubbles.
Barriers on you.
Okay, so like if you've got somebody who's full HP here, and then you finish them with a right click,
Your team was depending
they
on
die
you.
faster than if you just hold left click the entire time. You know what I mean? So that's one thing. The other thing is that I was talking about with the Ana there, is when you're that close, you just want to take the free damage, because this is the same same speed as this. Like it takes no extra time to right click between the melee. Or rather, like the right clicks still come out the same speed, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, as opposed to 1, 2, 3, 4. It's literally the same speed, except you get to throw in an extra 30 damage between each right click. So when you're up that close to an Ana and you're going, and you're gonna punch, always right click before the punch. It's free damage. It's literally free. So take it. And it would have killed her right there because you were like a billion charge. So you definitely want to make sure that you are using your right click melees when you're up close. Because if you're going to be landing those direct impacts, like it's even at like 0 charge, that's a lot of damage. That's literally almost half this guy's HP, and I have no charge. Oh, you were weak. That was okay.
This is strength.
Okay, I'll show you on full HP one. Make sure they're full HP. But it's like 0 charge. It is literally almost half HP. That's what, 75 damage? Yeah, 75 damage. So anyways, always right click before you melee. Sorry.
Nice.
It's free damage. So take the free damage. God, my throat hurts.
Lovely.
Prepare
I gotta leave her shit.
Select your hero.
So guys, welcome to the stream. How we doing? So
Let's see, skip here. Ah, you got a Reinhardt this time. That'll be a little bit better. Somebody for you to bubble, I guess.
The last human on Earth.
And Zarya is a little bit better on defense on this map than she is on offense.
alrighty,
Because she has better access to the high ground because she can just start there.
what have we got?
Yeah, you were really lucky though that the enemy didn't use high ground at all last round because like they literally just fought you on low ground, which is strange. Because you never went the high ground. Your team never took the high ground, so they could have literally just stood up there and shot at you all day. And you would have died horribly. What is happening to the stream right now? Okay. What the fuck?
Thanks for the follow, lad.
Okay, so there, I think what I would have done is the bubble, I would have either asked your Rhine to drop shield for you to bubble him, or I would have just waited and bubbled the Bastion after they inevitably dive him. So that's probably what I would have done as the second one, is your damage is based all around the Bastion here, so you just want to be saving your bubbles for Bastion, so if they're ever going to die or anybody's on him or something, or he gets antied or something like that, you just want to bubble him. So this bubble's not terrible, but I'd probably save it for Bastion. Usually.
Captain's coming back up, I think.
There you go. Nice bubble. I don't know what your Bastion is doing, dude. That was a free kill on that hamster. Oh, okay, okay. So dropping like this, not a bad idea.
No.
As long as you tell your team, okay, let's drop. Because your Bastion's up here, your Ryan's shielding them. Your team needs to be communicating with each other here. So if you're like, okay, let's drop, let's go, like we got a pick or something, that's totally fine. But you literally just dropped totally by yourself without saying a word. If your teammates did not follow you here, you literally just fed. So I definitely would be saying like, hey, let's go. Like communicating with your Ryan especially. Like your team did drop and you did well, but you didn't tell anybody that you dropped. And because of that, you could have died. And instead of you dying, you know who did die is your Bastion, because your Reinhardt was like, oh, I got to back my Zarya's play. So he went down with you, and your Bastion died because nobody told him that he wasn't going to have a Reinhardt. So you got to be communicating when you guys are going to be doing doing some pushing like that.
Ah! Oh, there
He literally was sitting right there. That's so funny.
I'm still me behind.
Yeah.
Alright, but so here I'd probably start going back up and get high ground again, is what I would be doing. Because your team's holding low ground here, it's not really a great spot for you to be. But it's not terrible, but it's okay. I'd be right clicking on the Ana a little bit more if I were you, but...
Oh my god!
Mad heals.
Huge heals.
Okay, so they have a diva now, is one thing that you got to be noticing. So when you do inevitably get your graviton surge, you got to be thinking that the diva is going to be trying to eat it. So they didn't have that before, so now you just got to be looking out for that with your graviton. Once again, you guys are fighting on low ground. I don't really think that's a good idea,
Oh,
but
that's scary. Oh, massive heals, massive heals.
that was a big nano. You just got saved. I think I'd back up though.
Getting pin sit back
They're
there.
getting a little aggressive. They could have killed you there if that diva had actually looked at you instead of just staying on the mega there.
Oh, fuck.
there it is.
Yeah,
That's
right.
better.
I'm done.
Yeah, I would have backed up a little there, but I mean, that's okay. Because like you were missing some teammates and stuff.
Just like in training.
But you guys got soldier's dead,
man.
and then you're coming back with grab. It's totally winnable as long as you guys don't die. You should just be like
Thanks,
telling
dude. I
them that
spent way too
probably,
long making it.
and then getting your teammates to prepare to. Oh wow, that's huge. They use trance. So literally,
Oh, there's no one there.
literally, you should probably just grab right after the trance.
Oh my god, this widow.
Alright, so when there's a widow, you keep doing this a lot. You jump a lot. So you jump there, you jump there, and that's why you got headshots, because you jumped. And then you jumped here, you jumped here. So literally, when you're fighting a widow, the easiest time to be headshot is when you're jumping. So I play a lot of widow. And my favorite thing to do is headshot jumping targets, especially Zarya's, Mercy's, Ana's, anybody who's jumping. That is the easiest time in the world for me to land a headshot. So if you're getting shot at by a Widow, do not jump. That is the last thing you should be doing. So you should be AD spamming, crouch spamming maybe. Do not jump ever against any Widow that has thumbs, hands, anything like that. Do not jump. That's just
Oh my god, this Widow,
big
this Widow,
thing.
this Widow.
Yeah, if you didn't get healed right there by your Moira, you were literally dead. But yeah, don't jump. And also, you're the tank right now, so you got to be the one contesting cart, because the cart is literally almost capped, and you are the
Don't let him
tank.
push cart, don't let him push cart.
So you're making like
Anna,
your
Anna, on the back
DPS.
of cart. Focus it.
Oh my god, that was
good shot.
huge.
Huge.
So yeah, a little bit more right clicking would be good to be seeing out of you. And then also just keep in mind that you are the tank. I know that you're not the tankiest tank because you're Zarya, but like you still are the tank, and you should literally die on cart before you make somebody who is not a tank
What's that, Zed?
contest in that kind of situation.
Oh shit.
Not
shit,
always.
I'm low,
Like
I'm low.
often your life is more important, but like if it's like your Ana or somebody contesting, literally just
Focus in the back.
you want to be on cart and you want to make your healers pocket you or something, because like if you're gonna make your healer contest, you should just make yourself contest and have them pocket you instead, because that's obviously gonna go way better.
Oh shit.
I
I'm
saw
low, I'm low,
soldiers
I'm low.
like that when you're a little aggressive
There
there, but so if you're fighting a soldier like this and you're having trouble tracking him because he's doing some crazy soldier AD spam shit inside of his healing pod and you're having trouble killing him, what you want to do is you want to right click him at his feet in the middle of his healing pod, and that'll
Oh,
make it
shit.
much easier to kill, and it'll also, like, him staying in his healing pod, like, he'll get splash damaged, and sometimes you can knock him in the air and stuff, which is helpful. So anyways, killing him through healing, though, burst damage is more helpful to kill through healing, and your right click is burst damage. So you want to be right clicking the soldier here.
Oh shit, I'm low, I'm low, I'm low.
He did it overextend a little bit
Okay.
there, but
Mr. Bogard, how we doing?
Nice.
Oh, huge hold.
they just
huge
nano
hold.
visored and he got fucking high immune. That's so tragic.
I'm coming, I gotta grab for this fight.
But yeah, a lot more right clicking. I
Oh,
wanna see.
massive. The stagger.
You're trying to get charging up moved away. That's so funny.
Anna, on point. Focus her.
I would literally just grab somebody. Nice.
It's doable, it's winnable. Oh my god, there's so many of them.
Got the bubbling your Ryan here. Ooh, that was close. He was so weak.
Focus heal
Oh my
this
god,
guy.
your Ryan is crazy. He's literally just charging in.
Oh,
That was
big
pretty
boy.
decent. That was a good bubble on your
Big
Ryan
boy
last
play.
fight. The
Oh,
grab, I
wow.
probably would have made sure that
That
I
was
got the
intense.
Ana in it. But
Yeah, I set up a Twitter.
it was
I
fine.
haven't
You
used
got
it
the
yet,
trance
but-
out with it, which is important.
Hey, guys,
But
welcome to the stream.
I would have
Thanks for
tried to
popping
get
in.
like as many squishies in it as possible, because you know they have trance. So you
Ooh,
want to give
there's
your
the
Ryan
hybrid
an
up on the-
opportunity
Mighty
to
Clone
charge
chat.
somebody through it
Flat
and
chat.
one shot him through the trance. Overall, that was a pretty decent match, but I think the main things that you got to be thinking about as Zarya when you're on a map that has a lot of high ground like this is you want to get the high ground as much as possible. And you literally were on high ground one time over 2 rounds, and it was the beginning of the second round where you were on high ground. So between fights, I want to see you getting back onto high ground. Like if you give it up, if you decide that's the thing to do that fight, that's totally fine. But you want to have the option to be there to begin with. So I want to see you on high ground more. And then I want to see you right clicking a lot more against low HP targets and smaller targets. A lot more right clicks. So you'll get more damage out of your magazine that way. And also you'll kill people faster and do more damage. So more right clicks, more use of high ground. Those are the two main things that I saw. If I had to pick a third thing, it would definitely be your bubbles, timing them better. So like against a Hammond, you want to time them before the burst damage comes, and you want to be doing it for people to get aggressive. You want to ask people to get aggressive. You only asked like maybe once or twice. Like you said, hey, Hog, get me charge or something. Like instead of saying, hey, get me charge, you can be like, hey, get aggressive. You know, like somebody get aggressive. I got a bubble for you. So especially when you have a Reinhardt, you want to be telling him when you have your bubbles so your Reinhardt can get aggressive and swing without worrying about getting stunned, CC'd, anti'd, stuff like that. So a little bit more communication on your bubbles. Some stuff you did pretty good was your grabs were usually pretty good. They weren't always the best. I mean, you missed a couple of them. You got to treat them a little bit more like a projectile, less like a hit scan. But usually your grabs are pretty solid, and you're not afraid to solo grab important targets, which is good. Um, Other than that, I think you got to be thinking about counterplay of enemy ultimate, stuff like that, basic stuff. But overall, it was pretty good. My voice is like totally given out. So hope you learned something. I'm gonna end it here.